Okay, so race two. Race one was ruined by a shortened pit window that we didn't realize was shortened until it was too late. So everything was messed up. Some of the guys had a chance to pit inside a very small 2 minute pit window, and the rest of the guys were forced to race the whole race without pitting, and they were penalized at the end. So we didn't know who was going to end up being the winner because of the penalty, how large the penalty was going to be. So everything kind of got messed up in the first race. But here in the second race, things were much, much different. These guys showed how good they are as drivers and how clean they can race in this race, as well as in the first race. The first race was very, very clean as well. These guys did a great job, and they're setting a great example for other drivers that are going to join our league eventually. So you can see sorry about that. You can see how bad the visibility is, even going this slow, even just on a warm-up lap. The visibility is very poor. These guys were really put to the test today because practice, qualifying, and the first race were all in flooded conditions. This second race, the weather is not flooded, but it is wet, and it's a little bit faster, and the guys are able to push a little bit harder than they did in the first race, but it's still a wet track and very, very bad driving conditions. So on the warm-up lap, everybody's just trying to calm their nerves, get ready for the start of the race, warm up their brakes, warm up their tires if they can. These guys really made it look easy as far as forming up whenever they got towards the beginning of the track. When they formed up for the start, we got a good clean grouping, and everybody had a nice clean start to the first race, and we're hoping for the same thing here in the second race. So we got Michael Gerhardt leading the way, Alex Capellan, Mike Doherty, Kyle Macedo, Jay Vroman, John Snow, David Maceda, Marchishan, and I don't remember those last two guys. I can't remember their first names, but I know Marchishan and Tong are the last two back there. And you can see they're getting ready, approaching the front stretch here, starting to form up. Everybody's getting in position. And we are going to switch to the oncoming camera if we can for the start of the race. Here it is. Okay. So here these guys come down the front stretch. We're ready for race two. Hoping for a good race. And there you see the green flag, and off we go. So we got a nice clean start. Gerhardt on the inside, Capellan on the outside. We got some close racing back there for third place. Kept it clean. Mike Doherty, Macedo, and Vroman all battling for third place back there. You can see Doherty's dropping back a little bit. He is now in, looks like about 5th place. And Vroman has moved up into 3rd place. So he's gained a couple of positions and looking good there. I lost track of my guy. Where did my guy go? There he is. Okay, Capellan's hot on Gerhardt's heels. You can see Vroman there in the background. These guys are being extremely cautious because of the weather. Let's take a look on board just how bad the visibility is. This is from Alex Capellan on board. You can see how miserable this is to race in. But he's doing a good job hitting his braking points and following the man in front, or at least following the mist coming off of the man in front. Nice and tight there. So they're starting to pull a little bit of a gap. Roman's still within touch, though. He's still within range back there. Macedo and Doherty battling it out. Doherty takes the position here, coming down the hill. You got that hard right-hander. Everybody's slowing way down for that. Marchician is on their heels. He's coming along too. And then we got Gerhardt is off the track. Gerhardt off the track. So he was in the lead of the race. Let's take a look at what happened to him there. So he's in the lead. He's got Capellan on his heels. And he just turned it around. I mean, some people would say that's what the Lambo does to you. A lot of people don't like the Lambo for that very reason, but in the wet, it could have just been the conditions, maybe a little heavy on the throttle, and the car gets away from you. So Capellan takes the lead with Roman behind, but there's a pretty good gap there. And Alex Capellan was fast in practice. He was fast in qualifying. He was fast in the first race. And it's not a surprise that he's really even faster now that it's not as wet. So he's looking really good. Mike Doherty, consistent as ever, is pulling up in third place. We got a battle back here for fourth place between Marchician and Macedo. You see Marchician looking inside right there. Decides to back off. It's probably a smart move. It's not a good place to try to pass, especially right in these conditions. You can see Gerhardt back there lingering in the background. He wants to make up some places after that spin. So let's check on Mr. Snow. He's back here running in 7th place at the moment. Always looking good in that Bentley. And then we've got Tong and Macedo back here having a nice little battle coming down the front stretch. Looks like Macedo's going to take the position there. So let's get back to the front. Capellan's out in front. He is, let's see, he has pulled a 3-second gap on Vroman. So he's got a pretty good gap, and Vroman's got his own problems because he's got Doherty on his back door. So he's just trying to hold steady. Doherty's, ever present when he's behind you because he just doesn't make mistakes. So Roman's worried about that, probably not thinking as much. Let's take a look on board. He can see Capellan up there. You can see Capellan is not that far ahead. So Roman doing his best to keep it on the track. Let's check out the view from Doherty. Doherty is behind Roman, and he's keeping it together pretty good. So 1, 2, and 3 looking really good so far. These guys are really driving well. And then in 4th place, you have Gerhardt has moved all the way back up to 4th place. So he got by Macedo somehow. Let's see if we can take a look and see how that happened. Switch back to the TV camera, and let's see if we can find this overtake here. Wow, it must have happened a while ago. Okay, so here we go. Oh, these guys are both off the track. Okay, so we had a couple of guys run wide. Gerhardt's right there to take advantage of it, and off he goes. So he was fast the entire night. He qualified first, but not only that, he was fast in practice before that. He did really well in the rain. It seemed like he was more comfortable faster in the rain than a lot of the guys were. But towards the end of practice and then into qualifying, some of the other guys started catching up in their times. But definitely not the finish he wanted so far, running in fourth, because he was out in front for the longest time. But let's check back on the leader. We got Capellan still in the lead, Vroman behind him, and still Doherty. You can see Vroman there in the background, so he's not far behind. And then Doherty is not far behind Vroman, so it's shaping up to be a good finish between 1, 2, and 3 here. But we still got a lot of race left to go, so let's see what happens. Let's see, Macedo and Marchician are still battling. These guys, they've been battling for a while. They both ended up off the track in turn 1 last lap and lost the position to Gerhardt, but they recovered the same and they're right back in the battle, and Snow has caught up. Snow takes over Marchician and is now hunting down Macedo coming down the hill. Macedo is a little loose, but he's holding on to it. Snow has got the inside on the turn there, so he's going to take the position, looks like, but it's a drag race down to the next turn. Oh, Snow on the outside, some tight racing, and Snow finally takes the position. Marchician's trying to cash in on the position he gained, but not quite able to do so, and backs out of it in the turn. So we got Snow, Macedo, and Marchician back in 5, 6, 7, and those guys are looking really good. And then you got Kyle Macedo, who's hanging on right behind these guys. He's keeping pace too, so he can get in the mix here shortly. Let's check back on the front of the pack here. We still got Capellan, Vroman, Doherty. These guys, I mean, they're all fast in qualifying, they were all fast in practice, and they were all fast in the first race, so it's definitely no surprise that they're all in this group now. Let's take a look from Doherty's position and see what it looks like. So he can see Capellan up there. He's not far off of Vroman, and you can see he's having a fight with it coming down the hill there. Coming into turn 2, all the way down to first gear. A little slipping and sliding coming out of the turn. Right here, going all the way to first here also. I'm sure the wet conditions are encouraging that to get down into the lower gears. You see him coming all the way down into first, coming up this hill. So we've got the battle for first is heating up. So you got Capellan, but Vroman is keeping the pressure on him. I'm sure he can see him in his mirrors. I'm sure he knows he's there. But not a lot of you guys probably know this, but Alex Capellan has actually got a lot of real racetrack experience, racing bikes and other things. He's got real racetrack experience, so you would think he would have maybe a little better nerves, could handle the pressure of having somebody on his tail versus somebody who's never been on a real racetrack. But you can see Vroman is really close now. He's closing down on him, trying to get in the slipstream a little bit down the straight. And here they come, 1, 2, 3, about to come down the hill here. And this is where the race seemed to be won or lost all day, is coming down this hill. So many guys ran wide in that turn. This is where a lot of positions were gained and lost. But you can see all 3 of these guys, the reason they're leading is because they're not having problems with that hill. They're getting right through it. So Capellan, he's holding steady. Let's see the view from Vroman. Vroman's got for some reason, Vroman doesn't have his windshield wiper on, so I don't know how he can see what the hell he's doing, but he's staying close to Capellan. He's looking good. Let's see it from Doherty. Doherty's a little further back, but he's in the mix. All it takes is one mistake, and he's going to be right on these guys. So we got a really good battle there. Then here we've got Gerhardt, who is he's 7 seconds back, so he's got a gap to make up. But in these kind of conditions, anything can happen. So he's got a good gap, and then between him and Snow is another pretty good gap. So Gerhardt's pretty comfortable right now. He can just focus on his laps. Doesn't have to worry about any traffic or any pressure from anyone. Looked like a little bit of action going on back here for 7th place. We have David Masita, and Marchician swapping places. So Marchician, he's up into 7th. And these guys are looking good, looking real good. So back up to the front, we got Capellan, and Vroman is right on him, and Doherty has gotten into the mix. So now we've got a 3-man tug of war for the lead here. You can see the tail end getting a little loose on that Porsche as he's coming through the turn, but it seems like everybody's dealing with that in most of the slow turns. The car's just slipping and sliding everywhere. Doherty a little bit further back than Vroman. Vroman's right on Capellan, and it is heating up. Coming down the back half of the track here. Oh, and Vroman off the track. Vroman comes off the track. Doherty takes second, and Vroman's a little loose. He's having a little bit of a hard time, but he's trying to stay in it to keep up with these guys because the first place is within reach. So the battle rages on. That's probably a relief to Capellan because he's got a little bit of room to breathe now without having Vroman breathing down his neck. You can see Doherty there, and Vroman in 3rd. Let's check on Gerhardt. He is still, let's see, after they cross the line here, we'll see what the gap is. He's coming down the hill. He's 6 seconds. So he's made up some time. He's only 6 seconds behind. A couple laps ago, he was over 8.5 seconds behind. So he's made up some time. He's catching the leaders, it would appear. So he's making progress. He was the fastest in qualifying, so he qualified on pole position. So does he have enough time to catch these guys? We'll just have to wait and see. Let's check the front again. Capellan, he is really good under pressure because these guys have kept pressure on him pretty much this entire race. He was pressuring Gerhardt early, but once Gerhardt went off the track, Capellan has been under pressure pretty much ever since then. You can see Doherty's closing it in a little bit on him. Doherty's never the fastest in qualifying, but man, this guy, he's always there. At the end of the race, he's always there. He won our second practice race last weekend. And you can see he's coming down. Oh, and Capellan has got a problem. Capellan just went straight into the wall. And something happened there. So Doherty takes the lead with Vroman closing in on him. Man, you hate to see that because you were just hoping that you would get to see that 3-way battle. It looks like Capellan is back racing. But let's see what position he's in after he crosses the start-finish line here. Oh, no, he's still having problems. So he's off the track. Yeah, he's going to fall back. He's listed in 5th right now, but that's about to go downhill because Macedo and Marchician just passed him. Marchician, not a driver we know a lot about. He's new. Tonight was his first night being with us. Showed good pace, handled the terrible weather really well. We've had the Macedo guys with us. We've had everybody except Tong and Marchician are the 2 new guys. Tong and Marchician were both brand new tonight. So it's our first time racing with them. But these guys put out a good showing. They came out and they dealt with the elements and put in some good laps. So we check back to the front. Doherty still holding on. Vroman keeping the pressure on him. And they are pitting. Remember, we have that 2-minute pit window, and everybody has to pit this lap. They don't have a choice. They got to pit right now because I made a mistake when setting up the server, and it's only a 2-minute pit window, so everybody's got to pit right when they get here. So we got Doherty coming in first, and he slid through his pit box and is backing up. That's going to cost him valuable time. Gerhardt comes in. Vroman is already away, so Vroman is going to come out of here in the lead. Doherty's coming out. Let's see Vroman. How much of a lead does he have? He's coming out of the pits, going down the hill. He's got a pretty good gap. He's looking pretty solid. Gerhardt back up into third, which is amazing considering where he was. He was back 8.5 seconds in fourth place at one point, and he's all the way back up to third, and he's not far off the leaders now. Jon Snow has made up a couple of positions now, and he is sitting in fourth. You see him in the pits there. Marcita's in the pits. Marchician. You see Capellan there. His car is beat up. He had that accident where he took on the wall pretty hard. Let's see. Snow's coming out of the pits right now, followed by Masita. Sorry, there's two Masitas. Followed by David Masita. So David Masita is going to come out in fifth place behind Jon Snow, and Kyle Masita is going to come out in sixth place behind David Masita. So that's how that all shook out. Marchician and Capellan are still both in the pits. Let's check on the front. So we got Vroman. You see him there. You don't see Doherty in the background, so that's not good for Doherty. He is 4.4 seconds behind, so he's consistent as ever, but he's going to have to make up some time to catch Vroman. Meanwhile, he's got Gerhardt, who's not far behind him, so he's got to worry about Gerhardt because all day Gerhardt's been the fastest car on the track. So a little bit of a gap, and then you got Jon Snow, who is battling now with Masita. David Masita all over Jon Snow in a battle for fourth place. So you see Snow taking that a little tighter, Masita getting off the track a little bit, and that's going to open up the gap a little bit between those two. So that battle not quite as tense right now as it was a few seconds ago. Let's see, how is Kyle doing? Kyle's doing pretty good. He's a few seconds behind those guys, though. Let's check back at the front. So we got Vroman. Now we've got Capellan behind Vroman, but Capellan is a lap car at this time. He is not racing Vroman for position. He is, because he had that incident, and that set him way back. He had a couple of incidents, so that set him way back. I'm being told that the reason for the incident was he had a crash to desktop in the middle of the race while leading the race. So he ended up on the Windows screen coming into the last turn, and that pretty much ruined his race. So once again, bad luck for Alex Capellan. Last weekend, Alex Capellan was leading the race, and the shifter broke on his custom-made racing wheel, and he lost that race because of a broken shifter. And then this week he has a crash to desktop, as we're being told, so he's just got a string of bad luck. He's snake bitten. Hopefully he can get all this bad luck out of his system before the season starts, and because he's going to be right up in the front every race. He's shown speed on every track we've done so far. So you see Vroman, you see Doherty. There's not much of a gap there. And you got Capellan, who let Doherty get through. Some good racing there, letting the faster car through. You can see Vroman up there. Pretty good gap. 3.6 seconds between Vroman Mike Doherty. Capellan is still really fast. It's such a shame that he is not in it for the win, because he really was racing well today. And then we've got Macedo, David Macedo here. You can see Kyle Macedo in the background back there. So you got to keep an eye on these guys. They're brothers. They seem to know each other really, really well, and they race really, really well together. So we got Jon Snow here catching up to Marchician. This could get interesting here in a few seconds. Snow in that Bentley is very consistent. That car looks like it's just on a Sunday drive sometimes, because it's so big and the shape of the car. It doesn't look like it's going as fast as the other cars, but man, he's fast. He's fast in that thing. So, and you can see he's very smooth. He's on the inside of a lot of these turns where the other guys are riding around the outside of the turn because they're sliding. John seems to know something that everybody else doesn't know, because if you watch him, he's always on the apex of the turn, even in these horrible wet conditions. You can see it right there. He's got the inside on Marchician, and he's making up time on him. He's catching him pretty good. Let's take a look on board. Alright, so we're on board with Jon Snow coming through down the back of the track here. Going to come all the way down to second gear, heading towards the final turn. Marchicians showed really good pace all day. You can see how much they have to stay out of the throttle on that last turn because of the wet conditions. It's just miserable conditions. So he's there coming down the hill. He's there, but he can't quite reach him. Just can't quite reach Marchician, who is running a really nice race so far. And let's take a look. Let's take a look at... Oh no, and Jon Snow's off the track. He is off the track. So that's gonna mess up that battle. Let's see here. We got Wait a minute. Okay, I missed some action here. Excuse me while I go back here, because we had Vroman. Oh, and Vroman, he's in the lead. Let's see what happened here. He's coming down. Slow speed corner. Oh, and just loses the tail end. He had an incident right behind Jon Snow, just in the same spot. Off the track and into the wall. You see Gerhardt there. So that's going to move everybody up. Vroman trying to get back on the track. Capellan and Vroman almost have an incident there, but it's okay. Capellan is still not racing for position, because he is at least a lap down. So he's not racing for position, but he's still got great pace. So let's take a look at what's going on in the front. So this is going to put Doherty in the front, followed by Gerhardt. Now Doherty, he's dealing with Jon Snow, who is not racing him for position. So he's gonna let Doherty go. That's a great move by Jon Snow. We appreciate that kind of sportsmanship. So you can see Doherty, he's got the lead. Let's see where we're at when we cross the start-finish line here. Gerhardt is okay. He's 3.9 seconds behind. So he's got some time to make up if he's going to catch Doherty, and he's going to have to deal with Jon Snow. Although it looks like Jon is really good at just letting people that he's not racing get past him, so I don't think we have to worry about that. And then we've got, let's see, we've got Masita, two Masitas, and these guys are battling. They're both in the McLaren. They're duking it out, fighting for fourth place. David Masita and Kyle Masita. Cool to see family members in the league with us. I think we've got a couple of families. We've got a father and son duo, and then we've got these two guys. I don't know where these guys are from. I think the father-son duo, the Everetts, I think they're from the UK. But I don't know where the Masitas are from. I haven't really ever gotten to sit down and talk with these guys. Oh, and you see Kyle Masita losing it a little bit there, coming down the hill. So he's going to lose touch with David, fall back a little bit. So we'll check on that in a few minutes. Let's go back to the front. So we got Doherty in front. He's got Marchishin in front of him. See on board here. Even this far back, you can still see the visibility is just not good. But he's coming down the hill really nice. He's kept his car under control the entire race. All the way down into first. Nice and tight through that corner. And just smooth on the accelerator. There's a reason that Doherty won last weekend and he's winning right now. He's a very smooth driver. He's going to try to get around Marchishin. Marchishin lets him go. That's great. All right, so Marchishin lets Doherty go. So Doherty is in the lead, followed by Gerhardt, who is trying to get around Jon Snow. But Jon Snow's got pace, so he's probably not wanting to give up too much. But he lets him go. There's Jon Snow. He lets him go. And Gerhardt is in the hunt. He's trying to hunt down Mike Doherty before the end of this race. So let's see. We've got Marchishin, Snow. The two Masitas are in fourth and fifth. Let's check back on that battle. Oh, and David Masita runs wide. Kyle Masita takes the position. These guys are trying to make it hard on me. They got similar paint jobs and they're driving the same car. So I'm having a hard time keeping track of who's who. But this seems to be a pretty even match. Kyle and David Masita. And then here we go with David taking the position back. And Kyle's hot on his heels. We'll see if he can do anything with it. He's right behind him coming down in the slipstream. Heading into the first of those blind corners. And David is going to get through there cleanly. He's defending a little bit. He's got the inside there. Really nicely on the apex there. He's keeping his line nice and tight, so it's going to be hard for Kyle to get around him. Alright, let's see what else is going on here. We got Marchishin and Snow battling back here for sixth place. These guys they're having a good time. And then you got, oh wow, so you got Marchishin, Snow, and Capellan all between Gerhardt and Doherty. So something must have happened to Gerhardt because he's fallen further behind. Let's take a look at Gerhardt here. He's behind Capellan. We missed something. Let's go back. Let's take a look back. What did we miss? I thought Gerhardt was past most of these guys. Oh, there it is. Coming into the final turn, Gerhardt runs a little wide, and then the back end just goes away. It just loses the back end of the car right into the wall there. And Capellan got a head of steam. He's going to get around him right here coming down the hill. So Gerhardt has got to be beside himself because he's run a fantastic race except for two spins. He's had two times where the back end just stepped out on that Lamborghini and left him on the side of the track. So that's got to be frustrating. He's still holding on to second place because he had a pretty good gap along with Doherty, but he's got Capellan, Snow, and Marchician all in front of him. Let's check on Marchician and Snow. These guys are still battling. 0.6 seconds is what it says on the time clock, but I don't think it's even nearly that much. You got Snow looking down the inside, but he thinks better of it. Maybe he never even had that look in the first place. But Snow's keeping the pressure on him. Marchician's driving really well under the pressure. And these guys have been battling the whole race. I mean, they've been up and around each other the whole race and battling hard. You see Snow run a little wide there. That's going to give Marchician some breathing room. All right. Let's check on the Macedas. We got Kyle Maceda. It's showing Kyle Maceda in 4th place, but I believe Kyle Maceda is in 5th place, and David Maceda has moved up to 4th place. Yeah, it just doesn't show it on the scoreboard yet. But David is once again in front of Kyle. Be interesting to see who gets the better of that battle at the end of the race. Let's check back on the leader. We got Doherty. He's looking pretty good. He's got a big gap between him and Gerhard. Gerhard's got traffic to deal with. Capellan's keeping good pace as he has all race, so Gerhard doesn't seem too worried about passing him. He's just following him to keep pace. So right now, not a lot of drama going on, but a pretty big, you see the blue flag there, but I don't think, these guys are talking during the race. I don't think Capellan was causing any problems for Gerhardt, so he's just letting him go. He says, you just go and I'll follow. And these guys are closing in on Marchician and Snow, which is tightening up a little bit. Let's take a look at that battle. Marchician, Snow makes the move on the inside, but Marchician is right there, so the battle continues with a swap. So Snow moves up into 6th, Marchician right on his heels. And this battle has been going on the entire race. These guys, 5th, 6th, and 7th place. Well, actually, 4th through 7th has been a constant battle the entire race. There's been battles between the Macedo brothers and Marchician and Snow all race long. So some good driving by everybody in terrible conditions, because it's definitely ugly on the track. So let's take a look at Vroman. We haven't checked on him in a while. He's 11 seconds back, so he's got a pretty big gap between him and the leaders. He and John Snow both went off the track in the corner that Vroman is approaching right now. This corner right here, as he made the left, the tail end went away on him and he ended up in the wall on the left side. You see him getting a little loose there, but he's holding strong in 3rd place. Macedo's the next person behind him, but Macedo's got his hands full. David is in the lead still against Kyle, and then you see Kyle go down the inside, but he's going to be on the outside on the last turn. But no, he takes the position. So Kyle takes it back from David. These guys, they're having a blast. I don't even know if they care what place they're in. They're just having fun. I mean, these guys have been racing the entire race and battling in the rain. Let's take a look at what the onboard looks like. So we're riding on board with David. Coming all the way down into this tight turn, all the way to 1st gear. Nice and steady. All the way down to 1st gear again. Runs a little bit wide there, but it's okay. You see Kyle pulling away a little bit on that little straight there. This battle rages on. David has had the better of him, I think, more of the time, but now you got Kyle who's in front, and he's trying to make it stick this time. He's trying to pull away, and he's doing a pretty good job so far. See David down into second gear through that turn there, coming up to another hard right-hander, down to first gear, all the way into first. These guys are managing their speed with the gearbox a lot in this race, and here you see the blind right-hander, very nicely done. And that's a hard turn when it's dry, but much less when it's wet. So David Masita, he's running a really nice race. Okay. Oh, I missed the end of the race, guys. I'm sorry. Let's take a look at the end of the race real quick. I was so busy watching the battle between the Masitas that I missed the end of the race. So here's Mike Doherty in first. He's got a big lead. He's coming down the hill, and I think he's finished the race, so he's going to pull off and celebrate because he's got a nice win under his belt. And Gerhardt coming in second. Rough day for him, but he got a nice second place finish. Vroman coming in third. And Kyle Masita ends up in fourth place over David Masita. I didn't see that coming because it seemed like David had gotten the better of that battle throughout the length of the race. Now these guys, I think they're still racing. I don't think they've finished yet. It's a little bit hard to tell with the amount of laps everybody's on, but it looks like they're still racing. Great race by both of these guys. Good battle all the way around. Here they come down the last turn one more time. And Kyle's going to take fourth with David taking fifth. Great race by both of those guys. You can't be upset about that. That's a great finish there. So we got Capellan and then we've got Snow. So great race, guys. Everybody did a great race. I just want to start back at the beginning and let's take a look at what made it all possible. If you go back to the beginning, what made all of this possible these guys. Let's take a look here. Let's look at Gerhardt. He is in pole position. What made all of this possible, that we could have such a good race, with so many good battles throughout the race, is what we're about to watch again right here, which is a nice, clean start. And this is something that in sim racing we don't see nearly enough, is nice, clean starts to a race. You see everybody forming up. Gerhardt and Capellan are doing a great job of leading them down the front. Coming through that last turn, everybody's formed up. Terrible weather conditions. Maybe you didn't qualify where you wanted to because it was wet, it was flooded, everything was terrible. But you can see these guys here they go, green, green, green. So everybody comes down. Let's just watch the beginning one more time to see how it all went. Gerhardt, Capellan battling for first. Oh, you see the McLaren getting a little sideways back there. Doherty and Vroman make the move on him. Coming down into the tight right-hander. Doherty's falling back in the pack a little bit here. So Doherty didn't have the greatest start, but it just shows that how you start doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you start. It matters how you finish. And Doherty did that once again in our second race here tonight by taking another win. So guys, I appreciate you watching. Great race tonight. A lot of good racing to look forward to. can't wait to see where we go from here. And congrats to the winner, Mike Gerhardt, or Mike Doherty, sorry. And congratulations to everybody, because you guys all ran a great race. You should be proud of the way you drove, especially on such a nasty racetrack. So, thanks for showing up, and I look forward to seeing all of you guys tomorrow night for the big race on Saturday night.